This video is brought to you by CatBeast.com. Design your own custom snapbacks and hats.
Yo, what's good guys? This is Nightwing2303 from WearTesters.com. Today we got a detailed look and review of these guys right here. This is Nike's latest innovation, supposedly. It's the Nike Air VaporMax. So I recently posted my initial impressions when I just tried the shoe on, like simply tried the shoe on. And I even stated such on my Instagram post, but people freak out because if you throw shit on a swoosh,
well, then everyone loses their minds.
Just, you know, all these dick riders are gonna come after you, which I suppose is understandable, but they're coming at you from like an illogical sense, and it's just like, whatever, don't got time for that shit. And basically what I had said was, after trying them on, they were a bit underwhelming and, in my opinion, overrated. Do I still feel that way now that I've broken them in and worn them and, you know, I work out in them, I run in them, all that stuff? Yes. Does that mean that I don't like the shoe? No, it just means that they're overrated. Everybody that I see talking about these is like, oh, it's the most comfortable sneaker of all time. To me, that's not the case. I do prefer Boost over this, but it is my personal preference. So if your personal preference is Air, then this is probably gonna be the best shoe for you. Now, if we're talking about Air, I actually prefer Zoom Air. I love the Zoom that is the full length stuff, like the KD9, the LeBron 10, KD6 Elite, the Zoom All Out, all that stuff. The only problem with that is that it could be a little bit unstable. That's something that I do definitely appreciate with these guys, is that it's a lot more stable than anything else. But because it's stable, it's also a little bit more dense, a little bit more unforgiving. And that's the thing that I don't like. It doesn't have any spring or bounce back, which is a feeling in cushion that I personally, you know, really appreciate. Now, there are some things about this shoe that I really enjoy. There are some things that I think they could have worked on. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. So something that I think is interesting is actually the traction. There's only 5 pieces of rubber on the entire shoe. The rest of the nubs are actually plastic, and it's part of the actual air unit. I'm not gonna say that that's a good or a bad thing. I just think it's interesting. It's a kind of a weird look, and it's definitely strange from a longevity perspective. But a lot of these like current runners nowadays, they don't have durable traction either way. So it doesn't matter if you're looking at this shoe or the Ultra Boost or whatever, like neither one of them has durable traction. So to me, that's just a wash. I just think that the design itself is interesting, seeing little nubs kind of come out of the actual air unit. I just think it's kind of, actually, I think it's kind of cool. Now the air unit itself, to me personally, this is not innovation, it's just a redesign on old tech. They've been using air unit since the 70s, and it's the same exact air unit with the same exact function as the original version from the 70s. They just changed the shape of it. And then what they've actually done with it is kind of sectioned it off. So it's similar to what they've done in previous air units, like what's in the 95 and the Air Max Penny 2s and things like that. But all of these little compartments that are within the air unit itself are not, you know, combined, which is, to me, I'm not gonna say it's a bad or a good thing, but I do like the way that they feel more when they are combined, because you can kind of feel the pressure going through the actual air unit. And these guys, you could tell that this is an individual air unit, that's an individual air unit, that's another one, and so on and so forth. When you first try them on, they are very firm or stiff. The only one that you can kind of feel any comfort out of is the heel unit, because it's the largest volume. All of the forefoot units are very firm, and they kind of remain that way. They do break in a little bit, but they're not going to give you like crazy cushion that you're maybe imagining or whatever. At least not to me. Like when I hear people say it's the most comfortable shoe on earth or of all time, this was not the setup I was expecting before and after breaking them in. That's not to say that they're not comfortable, because I do enjoy wearing the shoe. The longer that you wear them, the more comfortable that they do get. But again, I just like a little bit more bounce to my cushion, and this is kind of like a dead cushion. It's just like very absorbent, which is what Air is all about. So again, it's all about your personal preferences. There's no right or wrong as far as personal preference. No need to freak out, guys, all of you Air Max lovers, you know what I mean? I just don't like the cushion that much. The overall look though, I think it's crazy. Like just visually, aesthetically, the shoe looks crazy. I think they're kind of like borderline ugly and borderline cool. And because they are so borderline on both of those points, it's like an awesome sneaker, you know what I mean? But you're literally walking on air. So in that sense, These are dope, dude. Like, you can't get around that. You're literally walking on air. Now, my favorite aspect of the shoe is the upper. The Flyknit on these guys is incredibly comfortable. It's kind of got a little bit of stretch to it, but not too much. And then there's plenty of stretch right here in the collar, so they're not a pain in the ass to get on or anything. The tongue is a one piece, so this is all one piece. I know it looks separate and everything, but it is connected in there. But again, they're so stretchy that they're super easy to get on and off. I absolutely love the way that the upper feels on my foot. They fit true to size as well. Now, the one thing that I really don't like about this shoe is that it's kind of like generated or marketed towards performance, but when I was running in them, it just didn't feel like that. Now, the shoe itself, like I said, it's pretty comfortable once you break them in, and it's very absorbent. It's that kind of like dense cushion. So if that's what you're looking for, then that's great. But my problem came right here at the arch, the base, because there's no midsole or anything. Usually the midsole kind of like molds the shape of the arch a little bit, so you kind of get some sort of arch support. This guy right here is missing the midsole entirely. It's literally an upper on top of the air unit and a little plastic piece that combines the two areas. And there's no arch support right here, so when I'm running, it's kind of like collapsing my arch a little bit, and then my knees go inwards, and it caused some discomfort after the run. I'm not even sure if an orthotic would be like a viable option in these, because you can remove the insole here, and then you can put in one that's a little bit more supportive with a built-in arch support. But the Flyknit itself is so flimsy that I think it might kind of like collapse and everything. So I think that if they would have extended this rubber base up just enough to where it could have cradled some sort of orthotic, then I think it would have been a greater attribute in that sense as far as performance is concerned. I understand the thought process. This probably was made to fit every style of foot, you know what I mean? Because if you have people with fallen arches or flat feet, high arches, low arches, normal arches, all that stuff, like this shoe is going to fit them casually perfectly fine. It's just if you're trying to actually run in them, it might not work out for you. And that pretty much takes care of my thoughts on the Nike VaporMax. I think that they are slightly overrated because a lot of people are saying it's the most comfortable shoe of all time. Again, that's a personal opinion. People that really like air, that's what they're going to say. If you like foam or you like bounce in your cushion, I would personally go with something else. If you're trying to go with just Nike and you want a bouncy cushion, Zoom Air is the way to go. Lunar is also a good one. Even their dual fusion foam from the running line is really comfortable as well. But if you're a fan of Air Max cushion and you've run an Air Max for years or whatever it is, then you're most likely going to like these guys quite a bit. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for all your support. Let me know what you guys think about these down below in the comment section. And until next time, guys, have a good one.